This is your motivational video. Every week we will bring you a different type of video that will make your life better. Today we're going to look at to make $1 million. Can you believe it's already been a whole week? We hope you've been following your dreams and putting in the work. The goal of our Sunday videos has always been to motivate you and give you some insider knowledge that you can use to your advantage if you so choose. Making $1 million sounds like a lot of money. If you've never made large amounts of money, it may seem like an outdated goal, but the truth is that 1,700 new millionaires are created every day. That's over 620,000 new millionaires every year. So how do they do it? How do so many people become millionaires, and why can't you? Well, it's all about positioning and how valuable you are to the marketplace. If the marketplace thinks you are worth $1 million or more, it will give you that amount. To make this video, we researched people we know who have made over $1 million in the last few years. Who knows, maybe one of them will spark an idea that will be the beginning of a long journey for you. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. That said, here are to make $1 million. Number 1, be in the top 1% of a lucrative profession. Be really good at a job that pays really well. It's super easy to become a millionaire if you know what you're doing and specialize. Doctors, lawyers, and upper management in the US and Europe make over $150,000 a year on average. If you're really good at what you do and hyper-specialize, you can double or even triple that amount. The highest paying job with the lowest barriers to entry is sales. If you know how to sell, you can make a ton of money no matter where you are. Compared to doctors and lawyers, the top 1% of salespeople make over $250,000 a year, which will put them over the $1 million mark in just 4 years. Not to mention that selling is an incredibly valuable skill for all the strategies we have discussed in this video. We'll be doing a video on the best books on selling soon, but if you want to get started today, we recommend picking up the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone or the Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer. Speaking of books, number 2, write multiple books that sell. Okay, the trap that many people fall into is thinking that in order to get rich off books, you have to write the next Harry Potter or 50 Shades of Grey. The likelihood of you hitting it out of the park is incredibly low. That said, getting to $1 million from writing books is a pretty doable task if you find the right angle and an audience willing to buy. Few people know this, but to become a New York Times best-selling author, you only need to sell about 10,000 books. It can be as low as 5,000 books if you've been on the list before. If your writing is good, you just keep putting out more and more books until one of them hits. There are many examples of people who have done this, but our favorite by far is Amanda Hocking. You probably have no idea who she is. She was rejected by almost every single publisher in the game. None of her novels got a chance. She was broke, but she really wanted to go to a Muppets convention, but she needed money for gas to get there. To make some of the $300 she needed, she self-published her novels on Kindle. A month later, she had made over $20,000. So she added up all her novels. After 20 months, she made over $2.5 million from books that weren't good enough to be picked up by a publisher. Pro tip: if you have a podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, any form of audience, people will want to support your efforts and will even be willing to pre-order your work just to share the journey with you. Number 3, license a patent or trademark to a large company. Another creative way to add value to the world is to be an inventor, designer, or entrepreneur. Pro tip: we know patents are expensive, but there are certain ways to protect yourself even without an internationally issued patent. What you need to do is document how your invention works in extreme detail, put it in writing, and burn it to a CD or USB drive. Send it to yourself in a sealed envelope. When the envelope comes back, it creates a package, and you deliver a product on your behalf. Your job is to make the sale. Here's how it works. Let's say you find a supplier who can package and ship weight loss tea from China for $5 per package. Now you set up a website where you can sell that exact product for $20 a pop. When the order comes in, you send the $5 with the order details to the supplier, who takes care of everything and delivers the item to the buyer on your behalf, keeping the remaining $15. Just so you know, these kinds of numbers are possible. You know how Kylie Jenner is now almost a billionaire? She used the dropshipping model too. She owns 100% of the company and has only 6 employees. All the production and fulfillment is outsourced to another company. Number 4, start a small business and keep growing. Although most of the ideas on this list are super specific, the way most people become millionaires is by starting a small business and just growing. The process is fairly straightforward and simple. Number 5. Save money aggressively and put it in index funds for several years. You have to understand the power of compounding and use it to get rich. Someone might say, it will take you 40 years to save $1 million. But who wants to be a millionaire when they're old? It gets a lot more interesting if you can play around with these numbers. You should try to increase all 3 of the most important variables. 1. The amount of money you earn. 2. The amount of money you're able to put aside. And 3. The return on your investment. Well, the first 2 depend on your own choices, but the third is pretty straightforward. If you're not the entrepreneurial type, meaning you're not sure how to create a multi-million-dollar business by selling products or services, there's this really great book by Tony Robbins called Money Master the Game that we cannot recommend enough. It's the book we give to our friends on how to get rich the safest way possible. Number 6. Do an ICO. For the past few years, crypto has been the wild west of making money. We don't recommend investing in other people's ICOs unless you know they're trustworthy and have a solid team behind them. Instead, create your own blockchain-based company and seek private investors to back it. Only after the product has gained some traction should you be ready for your own ICO, where you open it up to the public as an early investor. Every single type of financial-related service will be disrupted by blockchain. Your goal is to figure out where you fit into the cluster of new services. Number 7. Buy a franchise. For those of you who don't know, a franchise is a company that creates a lucrative business with an already established brand that consists of simplified systems that can be duplicated over and over again. Think McDonald's or Starbucks. So how does it work? You contact the company with the goal of buying a franchise. There are 2 types of costs you'll need to know about: a standard franchise fee and a percentage of the business you generate. In exchange for this money, the company provides you with systems, brand recognition, and ongoing support. Choose a franchise that fits your geography and budget. Number 8. Create a subscription service where 1,000 people pay $83 a month. Okay, it's time to introduce you to what's called millionaire math. That is, how many ways can you get to $1 million in a year? Off the top of our heads, considering subscription services, you have 5,000 people paying you $17 per month for 12 months, 2,000 people paying you $42 per month for 12 months, and 1,000 people paying you $83 per month for 12 months. It's always shocking to us to see how many people never do the math on these things. Once you realize what kind of numbers you need to make, it's a pretty simple game to play. It's all about finding a service that people are willing to pay for and stay with. Number 9. Work for someone who's a multi-millionaire, or even better, work for someone who's a billionaire. The fastest way to make your first $1 million is to have a mentorship with that wealthy individual. The last thing you want to do, and we cannot stress this enough, is to spam people with how you have this idea that will change the world. When most people think of multi-millionaires, they usually picture entrepreneurs starting companies. But the truth is, about 1 in 5 millionaires worked for someone else, and that's how they got rich. When you think about it, there's no better way to learn about business than by working closely with a successful entrepreneur. Number 10. Go viral on YouTube. Who would have thought that going viral on YouTube could make you a millionaire? That has all changed in the last few years. Of course, it depends on the type of video, whether it's advertiser-friendly, and who's watching the video. But a ballpark figure would be somewhere between 500 million and 1 billion views. For example, Gangnam Style alone earns over $8 million in ad revenue. Speaking of advertising, having a popular blog can still make you a multi-millionaire. One of the people we've been following closely in this space is Scott DeLong, the creator of Viral Nova. For those of you who don't know the site, he's been at the forefront of viral articles distributed through Facebook, very similar to what BuzzFeed used to do. Number 11. Make an app that 1 million people use. There's still a lot of money to be made in apps if you know what you're doing and can actually provide a valuable service. The problem with apps is that if the user doesn't feel the need to return to the app frequently, you've already lost. The app ecosystem has evolved over the past few years, from Candy Crush making nearly $1 million a day at its peak to the meditation app Calm recently valued at $250 million. To navigate this space successfully, we recommend reading Hooked by Niraj Yal, where they break down how to conceptualize and scale these types of projects. Number 12. Get over 100,000 Twitch subscribers. Live streaming is going mainstream, and some would say it already has. You have people like Ninja, who are leading this movement and generating between $500,000 and $1 million a month from streaming alone. For paid subscriptions, viewers can donate money directly to the streamer to show their support. And then there's the good old-fashioned way of finding a major sponsor to pay a streamer to endorse their product, like the deal Ninja made with Red Bull. A ballpark figure to aim for is 100,000 paid subscribers, but you can get to $1 million with less than 50,000 if they're generous enough. Number 13. Buy, flip, repeat. This is a basic rule of hustling and one of the most common ways to make money. Sneaker culture is big, and people are willing to pay good money to get their hands on something exclusive. Number 14. Come up with an idea so original and crazy that it just might work. If the previous ideas are pretty straightforward, this time we're encouraging you to think outside the box and let your creativity flow on your journey to becoming a millionaire. Please write "first million" in the comments below and we'll wish you luck. So, we're curious to know what you're doing right now to get your first $1 million. Let us know in the comments and we'll try to give you some feedback. It's always great to see how many of you watch these videos through to the end. Thanks for spending some time with us. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We have also handpicked these videos for you to watch next. We'll see you tomorrow.